The Whitmores get a visitor, but Courtney is the only one suspicious of her. Meanwhile, an antiques dealer comes to Blue Valley. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Stargirl Episode 2. So this episode kicks off with Cindy's mom dancing around in the living, like the kitchen and everything, and she starts breaking things because she's about to be free from her captors because nobody showed up in a while. So she thinks she's all free and set to go back to her old life, but Cindy shows up and wrecks that. I mean, the look on Cindy's mom's face was priceless. I mean, I was like, dang, I'm sorry, I was rooting for you to get out of there. Maybe you shouldn't have stuck around to break things, But hey, yeah, that's what happens. And so we cut back to 6 days prior to that, and we meet the new girl, Jenny Scott. And she's getting kicked out of the group home because she's too old to be there. And I honestly have to say the lady who runs that group home wasn't very nice to her. Like, the advice she gave her was a little mean, and she was kind of rude to her. But this is where we really start to get her backstory, and we find out that the Green Lantern ring chooses her. But in present day, Courtney is basically dumbfounded by the fact that everyone trusts Jenny right off the bat, and then they start welcoming her into their home. And it's honestly, it's stretching the it's like really kind of unrealistic, I should say. To really trust somebody who just broke into your house and tried to steal from you, I mean, is kind of like, I mean, I don't know. It's not really believable. But we do really get to see that Jenny is a very nice person, and she apologizes for it. She apologizes for, like, the mess that her and Courtney made. And this honestly makes Courtney more suspicious. But Courtney, I feel like she takes it, way too far. And it, like, one point I kind of was like, wow, she's just being super mean. And it's just, like, from her character growth from the first season, I don't really feel like it's like her, But at the same time, I understand why she would be suspicious, but realistically, she's doing this because when she looks at Jenny, she sees a true legacy, and she really gets jealous of that, So she's trying to get people on her side. And she even, starts yelling at her, confronting her, and we end up seeing, she starts to realize that, yeah, she is jealous, and she needs to not be, and she needs to, sit there and, try to be friends with this girl. And while all this is happening, someone new comes into town asking about Zarek's magic collection. And that really gets, Pat's attention and things like that. So we got a new player in town as well. But this whole episode, honestly, was really more about introducing us to Jenny and establishing her powers, as well as Courtney's jealousy and how much she has been obsessed with being Stargirl again. It really comes down to, her just... She doesn't even care about school. She just wants to be Stargirl and just go out and find all the bad guys. And you can't really do that. You gotta have a life. And Pat's been trying to teach her that. So I feel like we've taken one step back, even though we took 5 steps forward. And we do take some more steps forward in this, but we do end up taking a step back. We get to see Pat's face, and we see his soul kind of die when he tells Courtney that there's someone new in town and they need to look into him. So I really kind of feel like, her enthusiasm, she's like, oh my God, yay. And I was just like, oh man, I'm like, She's going to be obsessed again, you know? And I feel like they need to break her of this, but she has an ego. She really does in season 2. And she's really trying to be just Stargirl, and she's trying to come to terms with the fact that like she can't. She has to be a teenager and go to school and do stuff as well as help people. So I feel like, she's got to come to terms with that. And this is just my opinion too, but that's how I feel like, when I see her character in this episode. But I did like the fact that we got to see some of the Green Lantern's powers in this. They looked really kind of cool. In this scene right here, Jenny's making a car. And you can see there's some writing on the bottom of it because she's thinking about what it is and has a picture in her mind. And it's, the rings bringing that to life. So I really did like that. I thought it was really cool. There's another scene where the lantern starts to go out of control, which I thought was really kind of good graphics in this as well. And the acting, I had no issues with. It was fine this episode. I did like Jenny coming in. It was kind of a breath of fresh air from, Courtney being like all mean to people and trying, kind of treating them bad, to seeing a girl come in who's real polite to everybody, thanks them for stuff, even looks up to Pat and's like, oh, teach me how to use my powers, and things like that. So I really did enjoy that part as well. So this was another slow episode in the fact that it was character driven. We get a little bit of Jenny's backstory, and we see the beginning of a power struggle too between Cindy and Eclipso. So this was more setting up the new characters, the new villains, the new heroes. Again, for because episode 1 was a little slow, but I thought it was pretty good. This episode, I didn't think was as good as the first episode, but I still thought it was a pretty decent to good episode. So hopefully they start to ramp it up and pick up the pace a little bit now that they've got some new people in town and things like that. I would give this at least a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Again, I do like episode 1 a little bit better. I actually liked the way they made Eclipso look in episode 1 more than in episode 2. But that being said, still, again, pretty decent, pretty good. So if you guys want to leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this episode. Please do so. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. Take care for now, everyone.